Hey YouTube, it's Auntie Mickey. I'm making this video because watching this video broke my heart. It actually broke my heart. This young lady named Britney. Her name is actually Britney Corbell. She was raised in Louisiana. And as a child, she saw some pretty horrible things. And she would go to the adults and tell them, and she wouldn't get the reaction she would think she would get from adults. She actually got the complete opposite. And because of that, she grew up wanting to fight for right. And she pulled up her bootstrings and went to college, went to law school. I'll let her tell you the story. But this video broke my heart. You guys know her as that surprise witness. She's a YouTuber. I watch her all the time. Wonderful content. And it breaks my heart that she's walking away. Not from YouTube, but from her law degree. She worked very hard to get that law degree. But because of situations and circumstances beyond her control and the way that things go in that good old boy network, she's decided she can't do it anymore. Check this out.
This is my retirement announcement. My name is Britney Jareem Corville. I was raised on the banks of Poydras Bayou in Port Allen, Louisiana. When I was a little girl, a lot of bad things happened around me. A lot of people did things that I knew were bad, but when I spoke up about the bad things to adults who had power to do something about it, they almost never did. Then sometimes a rare adult would say something, and time after time, I would see that person be the one who had to suffer painful or embarrassing consequences. They would be ostracized, they would be isolated from their community, ridiculed. They would serve as my warning. And all the other little girls or boys who might consider challenging the status quo. That made me mad. Infuriated, really. And I had to do something about it. I became determined to live a happy life after all the bad things I had seen at such a young age. I devoted my entire existence to my education. I graduated at the top of my high school class. I was the first person in my family to go to college. I wrote a thesis twice. I went to grad school. I was accepted into a very prestigious PhD programs. And ultimately, I graduated from one of the best law schools in the whole world. I passed the bar exam with flying colors, swore into the New Jersey bar on a VHS of Legally Blonde in 2021, and started working at one of the oldest, most prestigious big law firms in the world as a first-year attorney. My starting salary was $190,000 a year before bonus. And as y'all can probably imagine, those achievements took a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, literally. And I would even also say trauma. I put myself through all 5 years of undergrad at LSU. I worked 2 or 3 jobs at a time when I wasn't in class to pay for it, and I had to take a very extreme medical leave of absence 1 year because I had a bunch of medical complications. So I just kept going. During my first year of law school, that was 2017, I was on food stamps. I felt out of place. I had imposter syndrome. I was embarrassed a lot, resentful a lot. A month before my first ever law school final, my dad sadly lost his battle with addiction and tragically passed away. I carry the weight of that loss with me even today. And through it all, you know what I did? I kept grinding.
Stop right there. After all she went through, and then lost her dad, she still kept going. So many people are embarrassed by food stamps, being on some kind of assistance, but that's what it's for. It's for temporary help. Don't get it twisted. It's not for career welfare recipients. Unfortunately, we've got that problem in this country as well. But I'll let her get back to her story.
Same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce, grind, hustle kind of mode. And honestly, it was pretty impressive what I was able to accomplish with working in that way. But I was burning the candle at both ends, sitting in the sauna. During all that chaos, I got lost. I was collecting accomplishments and titles. And each new title came with it a price tag, a burden. And then on top of that, a bunch of extra responsibilities, expectations on me, requirements. And one common thread I also found through achievements is that when you get into these exclusive clubs or organizations or associations, there's often a lot of rules that don't make any sense. And all of this brought a lot of stress into my life. And honestly, I don't even know why I was doing that.
What I say about that good old boys network. Yet another thing wrong with this country. The good old boys network. They get their way, and only their way. And then the people that work hard and grind and want to do the right thing, they get kicked by the curb, fall by the wayside. It's really messed up. Once again, it's another problem in this country. Let's get back to her.
I don't even know why I was collecting awards and accomplishments like that. I mean, it definitely felt good. And I definitely still would really love to have a Wharton MBA, but I really don't know why. Maybe because other people like it and it makes other people like you or me. Or maybe it did actually fulfill some like deep part in me somehow. But it was a frenzy to collect titles and accomplishments and impress people by becoming a super lawyer. Well, let's just say my LawTube career and my legal career collided almost immediately, and I chose to leave my first lawyer job after Britney Spears' manager personally requested I stop making investigation videos about her on YouTube, and I refused. So I quit, and that sucked. That sucked. I legitimately mourned and grieved the loss of that job. It was more than a job, too. It was like a symbol for all my hard work, something to show for all the pain and suffering that I had to endure to even exist in those echelons, especially considering my beginnings. It was like a shiny token to prove I played the American dream game and won.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes that American dream ain't all it's cracked up to be. Had it not been for people like her, Britney would have never gotten out of that conservatorship. And I know it for first-hand experience. Conservatorships, guardianships, they're a ripoff. All they are is a way of siphoning what little people have left, even their dignity. But I digress. This ain't about my experience.
I was working in a high rise in Manhattan with skyline views and marble floors and famous clients. I was somebody. A New York corporate lawyer at a big law firm, Ivy League educated at that. And I was on my way to becoming very rich. I had dreamed about that job and its trappings. And even though I knew, and I still know today, that I did make the right decision to leave that job, it was a huge loss. But in a way, it freed me. During the time while I was processing the whole ordeal, I started making so many important realizations. One of them is every accomplishment, achievement, and title that I earn is also just another label. It's a sound to group together a predetermined class of expectations. I worked my whole life to become a lawyer, and I bent reality to my will by making it happen against all odds. It was awesome, but it was also suffocating. When you work for a firm like I did, they usually feel like they have the right to tell you what you can say on your own social media and on your own free time. And most people working at the firms don't push back out of fear of losing their job or their accomplishments or their titles. Similarly, when you're a member of a different professional association known as a state bar association, who regulates the practice of law, they also have the ability to control you and control my voice, my activism, and ultimately people's ability to support themselves using the educations they have rightfully earned and usually paid for.
So much for land of the free, home of the brave. Freedom of speech. Yeah, until it steps on your boss's toes, of course.
One such lawyer, back in, I think, 2009, tried to take Britney Spears' case to the federal courts. He argued for freedom. A freedom fighter, John Erdley. He said Britney's constitutional rights had been violated and that she deserved a fair chance to make her case in court with a lawyer of her choice. And just like so many times that I have seen as a young child, the person calling out the wrongdoings was punished. That lawyer, John Erdley, was slapped with a restraining order and eventually lost his license because of his work on the case. The first lawyer to ever try to free Britney lost his law license as a result. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but that is how it works. And so for that reason, I'm out. I will be formally resigning from the New Jersey bar as an active practicing attorney. When I swore into the bar, I took an oath to the United States Constitution. And my personal favorite part about the Constitution is that it protects us from being punished for expressing our true thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. It protects us from being punished for criticizing tyranny or reporting on corruption and abuse. I am retiring from the practice of law.
You know, it's a shame that it had to come to this for her. Because we've got attorneys out here defending people that unalive people. We've got attorneys out here that are defending people that do awful things to children. And yet they keep their jobs, don't they? They're not cast away. They're not disbarred. None of those things, because it's their job. So why would you prevent someone for doing their job? Oh, I forgot. That good old boy network.
I'm retiring from the practice of law. Moving forward, I will seek to make more decisions that allow me to experience true freedom. Freedom from expectations of labels, freedom from guilt or fear of loss, and freedom to say and do what I want when I want. I have not done anything that would warrant my removal from the New Jersey bar, so this is my voluntary choice. And just like the previous decision to leave my job, this one does not come without sadness. But this is what I have to do. I am taking control of my own story. I am learning from those who came before, like John Eardley. As it stands, I have to worry about telling the truth and about being myself and about expressing myself, because at any moment, someone could make allegations against me in court and I could meet the same end as John Eardley.
Not too far of a cry in comparison to YouTube. Think about that.
I have accomplished what I set out to accomplish in my short legal career. I have a Juris Doctor, and I will certainly be using my legal education to propel me to the next stop on my journey. But I no longer feel the need to be a member of any professional associations or organizations or groups. It currently honestly repulses me. Each of these burdens that I lay down is going to lead me one step closer to finding out who I really am. Why am I here? It's to exist as me, to say what I want, and to do what I want, and to come as close to being and feeling free as I can in this open air prison that we live in, without shame and without embarrassment. I am going to do everything within my power to live by my own terms. And that's why I have to release this attachment.
Oh, clearly this was something that she really labored over, and it's tearing her up inside. But I truly hope and pray that she looks or finds what she's looking for in terms of freedom to be who she wants to be and say what she wants to say. Being on YouTube, that's not always as easy as it seems. But I just hope and pray that she doesn't run into those same snags that she did in that office. Because once again, YouTube is a business as well. And it's really unfortunate that people can't be who they truly want to be. But the people that are on YouTube and even out there in the world seem to conduct themselves in awful ways with no shame. No shame whatsoever. Some people get on YouTube and say some of the nastiest things you'd ever want to hear. But they keep going because they got big numbers. They got big channels. And it brings in big money for big old YouTube. So I hope this young lady finds what she's looking for. And I hope that she gets the support that she needs. Because YouTube really isn't that much different than out there in the world in terms of law firms or Microsoft or the post office or Boeing or any other company that gives you an idea of supposedly being successful, but there's a price to pay for that success. So because she did this on her own terms, I give her all the kudos. And I hope and pray that she doesn't regret this move. I'm sure people are going to drag her. I'm sure of it. Why walk away from such a prestigious position? Because she wants to. That's why. That's the one thing she can do, regardless of what anything or what anybody has to say about anything. So my hat's off to her, and she will definitely be in my prayers. It just hurts my heart to see her labor over this, because she's really, from what I can see, a really good person. She does a very good job at what she does here on YouTube. So I can only imagine what she did for that law firm. So hopefully, and I'm praying for her, hopefully she didn't make the wrong choice. And if she did, then I'm hoping and praying she can come back.
This is obviously not how I anticipated my retirement to go. And I'm kind of joking about calling it a retirement, but to be honest, like, this is not how I anticipated my legal career to go or to end, but this is what I feel like I have to do. I can't become who I am meant to be if I'm living in fear. I have to get rid of the things that can be leveraged against me. I have to get rid of the things that can be used as weapons against me. And I'm realizing that the consequence, an unexpected consequence of achievement at the highest levels and the highest realms is that you sacrifice your ability to say what you want to say and to express yourself freely. It's just not a consequence I am capable of living with. For the people who are watching this video, thank you. Because it's finding a community of people who has some damn sense that's given me the courage that I need to take this step. And for the people watching this who that doesn't apply to, I can't live my life for you and your opinions about me. I refuse to do that. So you don't have to like it or accept it. And I'm sure that there will be people who will use this against me and say things like, she's not a real attorney and she quit. But I can't live in fear of people's opinions of me. And so I won't. Say what you're going to say. Because I'm ready to find out who I am and realize my full potential of why I'm here and what I'm even doing here in the first place. Because I promise you, it is not to take orders from some idiot that just happens to have been working at the fancy law firm for a few more years than me. That's not my purpose. It's just not. I would really love to keep this law license to have my cake and eat it too. That would be ideal. And I could, and I have been. But I am suffocated. It's causing me a tremendous amount of fear and stress to know that I could meet the same fate as John Eardley and then I would be called a disbarred lawyer. No, I'm taking my story into my own hands. I'm going to be the author of this legend. I have to. So, I have to move forward with my purpose. Currently is further service to the truth and justice. And that's what I will be doing. I will be back very, very soon with your regularly scheduled That Surprise Witness and BJ Investigates videos. That's all. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.
You know what, Brittany? My mama used to always tell me, all money ain't good money. So my hat's off to you, sweetheart. So, Britney, you keep on pushing. And you're going to be exactly who God meant for you to be. All money ain't good money. But you keep on striving forward. The title of this video is The Profile of Courage. You have demonstrated a profile of a courageous woman. God bless you. Love you, and we'll be watching. Peace.